Hello everyone, Neagat here, and welcome to another match of Littlewargame played on Ravaged. In the top left corner, we have the player playing with the red pieces. It is a guest, however I do believe that this is Ravaged. I've been playing him throughout the day, and this is the first match that we had together. And in the bottom right, we have myself playing with the blue pieces. We're both playing guest accounts. So to start off, we don't know for sure who we are. I don't know for sure what my strength's opponent is, but we'll find that out throughout the game. Just to go off of the last video that I had made, I was talking about and explaining how to build or how to perform the 2-den opening. And so this is an example of me going for that 2-den build where I'm opening with this 1-den, I'm sending a worker to proxy onto the other side of the map. And then this will be a good example of seeing how your opponent might play to defend against that. Specifically what kind of actions you can do, what kind of maneuvers you can go for, and then specifically seeing how effective the 2-den opening can be in this case. So here we go, it is a 2-den. I did send out this worker to proxy, and then we have our opponent. He's going for a standard Rax build, it looks like, and we can speed it up kind of just to get a little bit more confirmation here that first wolf starts up, and then we do see that this is going to start up soon. We have the one raider, and it looks like our guest is keeping his worker at home. Not exactly sure. Kind of looking at production here. So he is sending that back, and he might go for an additional raider in just a second here. My wolf does approach his side of the map, and he does go for the second raider. So we have the 2-raider expand build that I believe is very popular and very standard, especially when you see wolf. Let's see if he sees the second wolf. I see his raider, but does he see the second wolf? No, he does not. He did not see the second wolf until it was a little bit too late. So he was not informed that it was a 2-den until this moment, and now we get to see his reaction to that. So I currently have 2-dens queued up, making sure to micro this wolf back so he doesn't damage it. And then at the same time, my opponent is going for this tower. So he decided to get this tower before he started his castle. So very defensive build. And he also decided to get an archer before getting his castle as well. So he recognizes pretty quickly that this is a 2-den. And, oh, that's a bummer. I lost a wolf. Definitely don't want to be losing units in a 2-den. And I definitely want to start doing some damage. If I can make sure this tower goes down, that would be a success. We do have this wolf. Wolf does kill the raider. We do see that the archer is around, trying to do some damage, and then the tower is up. So my opponent is essentially defending against this 2-den quite effectively. I still only have these, these workers at home, and then I'm pretty much forced to try to do some sort of damage to my opponent, and then make sure that I can kill some workers, because as you can see, we're both at about 10 workers each. We definitely need to be killing him, especially when we're going for 2-den. But like I mentioned, we're both on one base currently, so this is an example of an effective 2-den so far. All of our units have essentially been able to kill his. He's lost a lot more gold and units than we have at this point. He's lost 2 archers and 2 raiders. I've lost 4 wolves, which is good for me. And something to go off, basically, off my last video that I was talking about is this supply, right? So it's very important that you are able to keep your supply up when you go for this 2-den. But as you can see, the micro that is needed in order to get effective damage with the wolves, and and the micro that's needed with your own supply, with your houses. Building houses is very important, and you can see that even I was struggling with making sure I was building these houses. And as you can see, I'm about to get supply blocked, which I don't like. Oh, I made a decision here. How exciting. So if you'll notice, once I saw that my opponent had built this watchtower in this location, I had decided to get an advanced workshop and to stop building wolves altogether. There's a reason why I decided to stop building wolves. The reason why is because I wanted to start saving up so I could build a second castle and start getting an economic advantage over my opponent. So I already have the economy advantage in terms of units lost. My opponent has lost about 800 gold worth of units, and I have lost about 300, I want to say, but we've both mined evenly. So I'm about 500 gold ahead of my opponent here. So recognizing that, I decide, okay, I'm going to try to get ahead with my advantage and see if I can do any damage. This wolf tells me that he does still have this watchtower up. Sometimes your opponent might decide to kill this watchtower if they decide to start going for their second base here. Try to push down the ramp. But he's essentially just built these 2 racks at home. He's also got a watchtower, basically to try to kind of defend. He thinks that I'm going for a very large attack. And here's what I was talking about. Some players decide to kill this watchtower once they decide that they think it's safe to go down. I've put wolves across the map to basically check to see if my opponent ever decides to move across. And then something really quick about his choice of destruction. I would prefer to kill the house here rather than the watchtower. You don't actually know how big my army is in this position. If it's really big, like let's say I went to snakes and decided to tech up for snakes, then it could be massive here, and you definitely want that defense in the watchtower. You'll notice that I start attacking this house here, and this is when I get confirmation that he has catapults. So I personally believe he's going for a catapult drop, which is the whole reason why I have this airship here now, or this ballista rather, to defend against the catapult drops. Now, something very interesting I decided to do here is once I finished building this ballista, I got an airship, I had a bunch of wolves saved at home, and I decide to move across the map, especially once I see that this castle is starting to build. I decide to move across the map and try to go for a little bit of a play here, specifically a wolf drop. Especially now that I know that my opponent has gone for a second base, I know, like, okay, he's pretty much given up on the idea of a cata drop here, because you wouldn't have enough gold to start building a second base if you did go for a cata drop. And so essentially what I see here is that my opponent doesn't have the anti-air needed to kill this airship, so I am able to basically drop my wolves and get some free damage in onto his army. If you didn't know this, wolves regenerate their health over time, and as a result, any damage they might take from a fight can be regenerated, whereas Rax units do not regenerate their health over time. They need priests in order to heal. And so basically, I'm just deciding, okay, let me see how much pressure I can do with this drop. He does finish up his second base, but because I had stopped my basically wolf production earlier in the game, it frees me up. Oh no, he's attacking his own soldier. I hope he stops that. That's a shame. Yes, but because I had stopped my wolf production earlier in the game, I am a lot stronger than he is in terms of economy. I have a lot more workers, and now I'm getting more bases, while on the same time being on advanced air workshop and snake tech. At the same time, basically just trying to see what I can do for damage. I have these wolves that are available, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to see if I can drop into his main base, see if I can pull his army away. And then if he does have his army there, or if he does pull his army back, then I can just send these in. But I do see that he is deciding to go for kind of an all-in here. He is pulling workers, and I do see this now. I am able to see that he's pulled workers at this point. So I've kind of lost a lot of units for free. At the same time, I go for this drop in his main base. And it's very unsuccessful because of the fact that this watchtower is here. So I need to basically respond to this push very quickly. As you can see, he's got a lot of his workers in here. He's got a lot of army and archers and soldiers, and I need to be able to stop this. And he's very strong right now because I was very greedy and went for this third base. And so what I decided to do is I decided to get a watchtower here, and I decided to pull my workers to defend, while at the same time bringing my airship back home to defend against this snake or this attack here. The snakes are great here. They're able to reach into the archer line and put a lot of pressure here. A lot of these workers die very quickly, and so as a result, I'm able to basically stop that push from being successful. I keep my worker count high, so I'm at around 20 workers, while my opponent is at 10, essentially. And had to pause there, and then came back after the pause. So just had to pause there during the replay. You'll notice that. And then I think I'm deciding to just pack up my airships and try to make another play on the other side of the map, specifically seeing if I can drop into my opponent's base and do some damage. Let's see how the economy is going. So he definitely is... Oh, we're mining almost the exact same. Interesting. Obviously, I have more gold than he does. He's lost way more gold, but he is actually mining a lot similar to what I'm mining. Oh, now it's different. I guess some workers weren't mining, but I basically have double his gold, and this is all coming from the advantage that I was able to get from that 2-den pressure, essentially. So very, very advantageous for myself. And then again, this drop, actually, especially this positioning, these soldiers are not able to get an effective position on my beast army here, and as a result, these snakes are able to attack these soldiers. And I'm trying to basically just kill his castle here. But what I should be doing is also putting pressure on his third base here. Something I did not know at the time was that he had a third base. I just wasn't aware at the time. And then I'm using these airships basically to scout out to see if he has any other units that are coming around. I have enough units here that I know I can kill whatever comes around. I'm not too worried about this. I've got control over his production, and it's just a matter of time till I send this army in this location over to his third base to start doing a little bit more damage. But essentially at this point, he is just completely overrun. These drops were able to do some good pressure in his main base, just trying to kill whatever he might have here, and then eventually just have my opponent GG. Eventually we do get this movement. We are in 3 bases. I do decide to get a 4th, just basically trying to get even more and more ahead. I do pick up some of my units and move them over to the side, and then now we do see that this pressure at the third base arrives, and this is when my opponent decides to leave. And so a good game of how 3-den or 2-den rather, a 2-den rush can lead to an economic advantage towards the middle of the game. And then as long as you're able to defend any all-ins that come in from your opponent, should be in a good position. But a lot of it is decision making, right? So once you see that your opponent is defending well, just stop building wolves, start getting a castle, and then move on from that point. All right, guys, see you in the next video.